Awesome. So talk for me one last time.
Disclosure is a pipe dream. Folks, you're going to have to get used to the idea that the U.S. government is never going to tell you the truth. Okay? They've been lying for 60 years. Even if they did tell you the truth, how could we believe them? What's happening and what we've been seeing happening in the last 10 years is other companies revealing their UFO files to take the heat off the United States.
You mean other countries?
Yeah.
Or you said companies?
Countries.
Oh, yes.
Well, companies too.
that was a truthful slip.
Yeah. Are you rolling?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, yeah, let's take it from the top. So, Chris, what's your opinion about an official disclosure from the U.S. government?
I think an official disclosure by the U.S. government is an absolute pipe dream. I mean, it would be great if the U.S. government would come out and tell us everything they know about the UFO phenomenon. Obviously, they know a lot more than we do, but in my opinion, because they know a lot more than we do, they're a lot more confused. It'll never happen.
And talk about some of the reasons why you think it'll never happen specifically.
Well, there's a number of reasons why disclosure will never be There are a number of reasons why disclosure will never happen as the U.S. government, let's see, I need to rephrase this. The U.S. government will never disclose the full knowledge that they have of the UFO phenomenon for a number of reasons. The first is they've been lying for 60 years, so even if they did disclose and tell us what they know, how could we believe them? It's impossible. Another reason is that some of this information has obviously been subbed out to subcontractors and aerospace companies and not to other aerospace companies. So there may be legal issues that are involved here. What would happen if all of a sudden X aerospace company was shown to have proprietary information that then didn't share with other companies? You are getting into some legal ramifications that could really be sticky. Another reason is the government doesn't want us to know what's going on because their whole primary purpose is control, maintaining control, and making sure that they have control and stay in power. This could upset the apple cart in terms of the government's control of this information. Another reason is, what happens if the government realizes that what they have to disclose is so frightening or so beyond the average person's ability to comprehend that they're doing it to save us from panic or fear or some sort of information that would create some sort of global issues surrounding the presence of an alien intelligence.
So you were at the citizen hearing on disclosure. Tell us your impressions.
The citizen hearing on disclosure, I think, was a noble effort, and I think it was a nice boilerplate or a litmus test for potential hearings within Congress. However, I think that like the old adage that all it takes is one bad apple to spoil the apple cart, I think there were a number of presenters that really detracted from the gravitas, from the seriousness of the issue. Paul Hellyer, being selected as the last person to speak, quoted from a very questionable abductees conversation with aliens and quoted it directly. And I think that, I mean, if I hadn't been working as a camera person on that project, I would have, done the obligatory bullshit. I was really upset, and unfortunately, I was unable to voice my indignation over Hellyer's quoting Jim Sparks because I was working there, and I'm a professional.
He did botch it, and I mean, Hellyer was really getting our attention, then all of a sudden, it's horrible.
Well, Paul Hellyer's closing statement, which summed up the entire 5-day event, to me was really ill-conceived on the part of the organizers of the event, quoting questionable sources in their works, their books, and talking about alien conversations and your standard contactee information about, the aliens are worried about our environment and they're worried about nuclear energy and the misuse of nuclear weapons. To me, it really it really trashed the amount of gravitas that had been slowly building over the week, and I was really disappointed.
So let's shift gears over to Mars. First, just your overall gut instinct impression about what the history of Mars might be. Was there ever life there? Was there civilization there? Is there a possibility that we are seeing destruction on Mars? Just the overall thing.
Well, taking off my skeptical hat and going into my wanna believe mode, there is some tantalizing evidence, and there is some, I think, information that's been established that Mars may have had a much more habitable atmosphere, and the land masses may have been conducive for life. And I've often kind of wondered if possibly humans actually evolved on Mars, and then before some sort of catastrophe, somehow were able to move to the planet Earth. I do think that Mars is an enigma. The moons of Mars are an enigma. And I do have a sense that there was something there at one point, whether it was us, evolved in some past civilization, or whether it was actual extraterrestrial presence that was there. I have a sense that there is that possibility. However, my skeptical side says we need the data to support that. We need the evidence to support that. And to be honest with you, the pareidolia that's been going on, people looking at particular photographs from Mars, people looking at footage and seeing faces, seeing what appear to be manufactured objects. I really think that most, if not all, of these assertions can be disproven. I really have a sense that people are really overlooking at these photographs, and that they're wanting to believe that they're seeing artificiality within some of these images. I haven't seen anything that's slam dunk.
Now, that being said and understood, are you really saying that you don't that you've looked at these photos and that nothing is these right angles and some of these things, these little objects that appear to be pieces of manufactured objects, you're on a scale of 1 to 10, you're not convinced at all?
There's been a handful that have made me scratch my head and really look closely, but I really haven't seen that slam dunk, irrefutable, unequivocal evidence that there are manufactured objects on Mars or any sort of ruins, any sort of remnants of some sort of civilization there. What intrigued me more is the evidence of water, flowing water. I think that there is enough evidence there to suggest that Mars had a much more habitable environment at some point in its history. And the work of John Brandenburg, for instance, who I think is an optical physicist, he's written a couple of books on Mars. And one of the things that he came up with was observing and sort of accentuating this idea that there is a cloak of radiation that's around Mars that in theory could only have happened if there was some sort of airburst of nuclear materials that was able to uniformly scatter radiation around at least the northern hemisphere of the planet. And that to me is very intriguing, and I think it deserves more study, and I think NASA needs to come forward and give us their particular theory of how this radiation, equally dispersed around the planet, could actually be there.
Now, do you know if NASA has an official stance on that?
NASA really hasn't come out with anything. It's all equivocal. They say, well, it could be this, it could be that. But I haven't seen the real definitive statement from NASA that would satisfy proponents of the possible airburst of a nuclear weapon or some sort of nuclear material around the planet.
And you don't support the theory that a lot of people think some of the photographs show clear evidence of vitrification?
Clear evidence of what?
You know, the waste, vitrification, that's the word, right? when stone is heated so much that
Vitrification.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen evidence of artificial vitrification or read anybody that has suggested that any of this melting of material or vitrification is artificial. I think most if not all of the evidence, suggests that this is a process, a natural process of volcanism, and it has nothing to do with, let's say, glass fields produced by a nuclear explosion.
Okay, so there's one particular photograph that's just over the top crazy, and that's that one, that the aerial photograph that people are saying clearly shows, what's it, Nefertiti?
Oh.
Did you see her eyes? Did you see her bonnet? Have you seen this?
Yes, I have.
Just comment on that. Feel free to.
Well, you know, nature works in wonderful ways, and you know, around Sedona here, where I'm in the Sedona area, there's rock formations that just so look like human faces, and I mean, the human mind automatically tries to create shapes and personify natural formations, and I think that this is again an unusual looking formation, but you know, it's highly probable that it's natural.
Cool. So I think that's it for this.
There you go.
Oh, wait. Do some stuff that you can, if you want.
Oh, right, for the Paracast.
Paracast, yeah. And matter of fact, let's preempt and go, you know, hey, Chris O'Brien from the Paracast here, I want you to check out our whole new section,
right.
Paracast TV. You can become because I'm going to work with you guys.
Right.
I figured it out.
Okay.
We're going to create a playlist of videos that you guys like. We'll add a few things as we go. We'll start producing our own stuff, and people,
right.
it'll be standalone on Paracast. Maybe we'll put it other places too, but people will have to pay and subscribe.
Right.
And we'll just get that ball rolling. So
Okay, cool, good idea. Hey, it's Chris O'Brien here, co-host of the Paracast, the 60 Minutes of the Paranormal. Other shows might be Entertainment Tonight. We're the 60 Minutes of the Paranormal, and we are coming up with a whole revamped website, and we invite you to get involved, sign up for our newsletter, get a free copy of my book, Secrets of the Mysterious Valley, become part of the solution instead of being just another true believer. We have lots of ideas in store. We're going to be starting video presentations, and we're going to have a subscription service where you can get the Paracast ad-free. There's a lot of exciting things going on, so visit theparacast.com. It's theparacast.com, and be sure to tune in every Sunday night for the Paracast. We have the best guests, we ask probing questions, and you're going to learn a lot.
That's perfect. Oh, wait, one more. Everybody, promote bigger questions for me.
Okay.
You guys got to check out Ron James' new show. It's the smartest talk show in the world. Bigger questions on Evolve TV.
Okay. We live in very, very interesting times, and there's a lot of interesting subjects that need to be dealt with that have to do with all sorts of paranormal topics, the question of the nature of consciousness, cutting-edge information on science, and how science is so interwoven with our idea of consciousness. There's a really good show called The Bigger Questions. It is the top show right now that's emerging, looking at these very complicated issues. They have the top guests, the best experts, and I'll tell you, you're going to learn something from every episode.
Cool, that'll work. Thank you.
Your turn.
Did you hear that one of the Russian officials